Today on the BlastCast, GamesCon concept ship reveals, mining will launch with the Orion, and Star Marine, is it close? All that today in the BlastCast. Greetings, citizens, and welcome to another BlastCast. This week, of course, Lightning Dragon is back with me, my bastion of common sense. And I'm going to start here with just some basic general updates, just to let you all know out there, from July 1st to the 10th, I'm in the process of moving. So there may be delays on videos and things, as all of you who've ever moved know. It's just so much fun. It's more fun than any one man should be able to handle. And because of that, between that and my job, it's going to be really hard to squeeze in video, so I do apologize ahead of time. Also, as well, you might notice some changes to the video already. I am using a new rendering program. Yay, Steam summer sales! And managed to get myself actually Vegas Pro, a nice step up from Pinnacle. So it'll take me a little while to learn all the ins and outs on that. Alright, well, let's go ahead and get into our first topic here. And the first thing I want to talk about today is, of course, the big GamesCon concept ship reveal. Of course, they haven't said what the ship is going to be, but they did state that the ship that's going to be revealed at GamesCon, the concept ship, will actually be flyable at sale. And of course, that means there's going to be a patch for the game as well at GamesCon. So there's a lot of speculation.
I actually don't know anything about this. Is this something that they did not put as a concept sale?
Well, I mean, what do you mean? This is something that they haven't talked about before? Or
Well, if they're talking about they're going to have the concept ship reveal and flyable at release, so is this a ship they've never shown us before? Like,
that's the thing,
for example, the what's the designation for the Lightning? The Me?
Well, I mean, there's some people are speculating it's the Polaris. Some people are speculating it's the
Polaris.
new. Yeah, some people are speculating it's the new Hornet. Basically, where they've been working on redoing the whole thing.
I guess there's a lot of stuff, really.
Yeah, there's quite a few things. They're speculating that it's just a ship that's been rebuilt. And the Hornet seems like a good speculation prospect. The Polaris, from what I understand, I think it's supposed to be a very large ship. I don't know much about the Polaris because for some reason that seems to be one that I've missed, as much as I love ships. But everyone's saying it's just like a Corvette or something very large. So I doubt they're gonna have anything like that.
Yeah,
so
that might not be flyable at release. That'd be cool though to see more
Yeah.
Corvettes, because the interest was supposed to be the Corvette, and then they realized, we want this ship to be the Squadron 42 like starting ship before you move up to the Bengal, because that's still in production. And so they had to make it bigger, make it more of an escort carrier, and it's like, well, it's not a Corvette anymore, it's more like a frigate. And they did say they were gonna, get a replacement Corvette.
Yeah, well, as I said, it could be any ship, any ship, a redone ship. It could be something that that they talked about in the past. It could be something they've never ever discussed. So, really, whatever ship that is pure speculation, and we could really get into that and just put out a lot of hypotheses and basically just guesstimate and stuff like that. But the bottom line is to stay tuned for GamesCon to see what it is they're actually going to be releasing, because the truth of the matter is nobody out there in the blogosphere knows. And we're going to step over here to the next segment real quick. Moving on to, I think, something that will be very helpful or very good news for Lightning is that basically that when they do launch mining, they are going to be launching it with the Orion. Now, I thought they might be doing it with the Prospector as a test bed. But
yeah, that's what I thought too. I mean, it's a small ship, it'd be easier to model it, but I don't know, maybe they put like one or two guys off to the side and said, we want you to finish this ship.
Well, my thoughts on it is the reason that they're doing it with the Orion is that in Squadron 42, as we've seen in a lot of the videos, it looks like a large portion of the game takes place around an asteroid mining base.
So you might have to be protecting some mining vessels. That's an excellent point.
Yeah, and because of that, they need to get the mechanic in there. They need to make sure those ships are up and running. It might be a requirement for Squadron 42. So that might be something. If that's the case, then I would expect to see the Orion before the end of the year. And if that's the case, there's going to be lots of videos of Lightning and I mining the hell out of everything we get our hands on.
Also crashing at asteroids just because.
And I'm flying it straight into Crusader.
Oh man, what was the time delay on respawning in the Starfarer when we,
30 minutes.
Accidentally crashed? Imagine what it's going to be for the Orion. It might be like an hour or two. Well, I guess we're done for the day.
Exactly. It's like you gotta find a nice platform full of auroras and things like that, and just aim. But yeah, it should.
Yeah. I wonder if we can use the mining laser as a weapon.
Also, there's a possibility. For me, when I'm interested in this, I'm looking forward to the Reclaimer because I really want to see what I can do with the claw. Because that's gonna be a whole lot of fun. But yeah, I mean,
you gotta do your best Dr. Claw in impersonation here or something.
Oh no, absolutely not, absolutely not. I don't need to embarrass myself.
You must do it.
No.
Okay, well, next time you'll practice off recording mode, and then we'll start it off, and you'll do Dr. Claw intro for the BlastCast.
No thanks.
Damn it.
So yeah, if you're all you guys out there looking forward to mining, expect to see the Orion going live with it, and all you guys who own the Prospector like myself, it wouldn't surprise me to see that ship coming along shortly afterwards, or even at the same time. But definitely with mining comes the Orion. And Ten for the Chairman, Chris Roberts here had kind of brought up Star Marine again. He mentioned it as that often rumored dead project, and it was very interesting listening to him talk about it this week.
Cough, cough, line of defense, cough, cough.
Yeah, line of defense is, yeah, that's Derek Smart Games. His games are dead from the time you type in the first line of code. So the thing is that what was interesting about it is that besides the fact that they leaked an image, and I'll go ahead and put it here, and
place image here.
So what it is that the way he was talking about it, in my opinion, when I was listening to it, and I'll have a link to that timestamp in the description, he sounded a lot like all of you out there have had parents and been around during Christmas or a holiday or a birthday.
Yeah, birthday.
And basically like, oh man, I really would like to have this. Well, if you're really good, maybe Santa will bring that to you this year. It really he had that tone about him, like it was like, boy, here it comes, guys, get ready for it. And it wasn't like giving out any dates or anything like that, but he had that air of get ready because we're ready. Because he had mentioned in there that it's working internally, and that's very good news. I think your Star Marines is about a year delay, but I think it's one of the most important things they need to bring out. Now, Arena Commander was important before the Persistent Universe. I think Arena Commander is not as important now because now you need to worry about interactivity between all the ship sizes, everything from the small to the largest. And you can only do that in the Persistent Universe. With something like Star Marine, it is very important because you need to test all the equipment that hasn't been put into the game yet. Those personal shields, those little the equipment, the grenades, the cover system, and I think most of all is they need to come up with a ground version of Vandal Swarm, because we need to, with Squadron 42 coming out, and we'll have ground missions. They need a place where they can test their Vandal ground AI.
That's true.
And it's the prime place to do it. Have hundreds of thousands of players out there just testing that AI and making sure that they lock it down for the time that Squadron 42 launches. At this point in time, I feel that Star Marine is very much a necessity to the health of Squadron 42. And, of course, who doesn't want to play Ender's Game with the nice little ball game they got going on in there? I think that alone, if you release Star Marine...
anybody that's read Ender's Game will recognize it.
Oh yeah,
or even seen the movie. I guess there was a movie. I've never seen it, but Jarvis has.
Yeah, movie's decent. Books are always better.
Definitely.
But the thing is that with the Star Marine, I think it's going to be a hell of an advertisement point. I think there's a lot of people who would be massively interested in the game, seeing all the FPS mechanics come together. I think it would be a huge selling point, and I think it would really help the funding of the game overall. Not that we don't have enough money at nearly $117 million. But anyway, so yeah, look forward to possibility of Star Marine. I'm guessing, if not at GamesCon, by CitizenCon, because of the fact that he really did have that tone about him, that air of, it's Christmas, get ready.
I'm not quite sure how long we've been recording here because I have my other microphone and crap in front of my clock. But I'd like to touch on something that you and I talked about when we weren't recording. In that, if anybody has played the Ubisoft Jungle games, I don't know why I can't think of the name right now.
Far Cry's?
Yeah, Far Cry. I don't know if they did it in the Far Cry 3, but the new Far Cry 4, you had health bars. And I'd like to see them do this for armor values. So if you have light armor, you have less of these, or they're bigger health bars. And so, because if you've played Arma, you get shot in the arm, oh well, your arm's basically destroyed. You can't do anything. You get shot in the leg, you can't run or anything. And you get shot 2 or 3 times in Arma and you die. Now, I'm pretty sure we're not going to have that level of realism. Because, you've said before, and I think Chris Robert has said before, he wants it more like Rainbow Six. And I've never played Rainbow Six. I imagine it's less Call of Duty and, between Call of Duty and Arma.
It can be pretty fatal, but it's a cover system and things like this. A cover system and things give it the...
But I'd like to see, you have armor protection value. You could do it per chess piece, chess piece has 1 block of armor, etc., etc. And then as you lose a whole block of armor, it doesn't come back. But if you get shot a little bit, as you're running from cover to cover, let's say a machine gun that doesn't do as much damage, or not a machine gun, I guess it is a machine gun. I'm thinking of an SMG. That's what I'm looking for. A machine gun. And you only get a shot a couple times. Well, it doesn't break your armor protection, so it regens back. And I know regenerating hit points, that's terrible. But I mean, we have regenerating shields on the ships. And if you have
you're basically saying nanotech that can repair the armor up to a certain point.
And basically, if the armor is broken, you lose a certain layer of protection, it's gone. And the heavier your armor, obviously the more armor it has, but also you move slower. So if you have a big huge machine gun that's going to make you move slower, and you have big huge armor, you're going to basically be by yourself if your team doesn't try and support you from the flanks and stuff. And I think that would add a reason to have heavy armor, because if it's just oh well, you have this many hit points and then you have an armor value, why would you ever want to sacrifice movement speed if it's only a slight increase? Now, we don't have that test bed yet, but that's a good thing that'll become or coming with when we actually get the Star Marine. We can play with light armor, we can play with medium armor, we can play with heavy armor as soon as I have enough money to buy these things, and we can see the difference. Is it really worth going into the higher levels of armor until we have a decent damage system? Is the damage system worth anything? I'm kind of rambling on here, but I'd like to see what they're doing.
When they were talking about the armor on the ships, they were talking about how angle of attack and thickness of armor, all that would have an effect. I would imagine even if they applied that kind of system to the FPS, that would also be sufficient enough as well, where basically the armor could get worn down over time, or basically armor has a certain amount of HP, but depending upon the angle of attack, depending upon the type of attack, depends on what kind of damage is done. There's a lot of different systems they can use, but I definitely think for visual reference, the Far Cry system with a maximum kind of like a little bit of regeneration, but caps. If you go beneath a certain line, you can't go any further than that. And that kind of makes sense.
Unless you actually literally go and replace your armor. The leg armor has been completely destroyed. Oh, I better go and buy a new whole set, because what are the odds of them just selling you a piece of a leg armor? They probably won't do that. And so oh well, I got shot really bad on the right arm and the right leg, so you might change your tactics because of that. It'll add, I think it'll add good gameplay, and it'll also, I think it'll just make the ground combat less random and oh, I got shot twice in the chest, I'm dead, because that's not fun.
Well, we better wrap this one up here because Lightning's getting digital on me here. Uh, yeah, he's got like this really crappy wireless sometimes. So, anyway, I do want to give one last call out here. It's more of a community shout out here. There's two channels I discovered for Star Citizen this week. One, and I'll the description in the links below, is a man named Teller, and the other one is a guy named Minionsoldier. And both of them put out pretty good stuff. Teller does a lot of ship videos. He takes a lot of those wireframes, for example, that they put when they put out concepts. He puts them into the game, and he shows you scale and gives you an idea what the ship would look like in the environments. And for example, when Dragonfly came out, he actually had it flying around on a planet, like in the CryEngine. And Teller. He does a lot of different ship reports. What I like about but Minionsoldier. Minionsoldier, he does a lot of ship reports. He does, basically, he goes deep into it. He'll talk about the same, like he talked about the Vanguard situation, pretty much covered the same things that we talked about in this channel. He has a bunch of these different videos, so check out Minion Soldiers if you're interested in lots of basically ship information or discussing how ships are going to be used in the Star Citizen universe, especially in piracy, it seems. And Tellers is really great if you want to see models and see them, things that aren't in the game yet, brought in, and you can kind of compare them. So I'll have the links down below, but I just want to give a shout out to those two channels. And other than that, guys, that should wrap up this week's BlastCast. And I'm going to see if this render program works worth a half a damn. It's the second video I've ever rendered on it. And we'll catch you next week. Thanks for listening.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
That actually sounded very
Sorry.
good with your digital. That worked. That was good. That was good. Later, guys. Called it the evil twin of the freelancer.
And it's not even close.
Oh no, it's not even a twin anymore. It's like
you could probably tear apart a freelancer and store.